All right, Donald Trump fell asleep again. Oh, okay. It's again 2, 3 times a week. This is happening now. It's completely pathetic. Yes, it is pathetic. I want to go beyond just the fact that Trump fell asleep. Now, I am going to show you again behind the Resolute desk Oval Office event. This one was about childhood vaccines. This is not a joke. Like it is visually funny. Okay, I have a sense of humor like everybody else. It is visually funny to see Trump sort of almost horizontal and just passed out asleep. But this guy made Joe Biden's age and alertness the central issue around the 2024 campaign, central to his political identity. Trump would never fall asleep when he's not trying to fall asleep. Trump out. He's just out. And look at the woman behind Donald Trump, by the way, realizing what's going on.
Take this extremely seriously, as we have been for the last year and a half and more of the presidency. At the NIH, what we've done is we have established the Autism Data Science Initiative, which started almost a year more, actually more than a year ago, where we funded a dozen and more major research teams to answer the question of what is the cause of autism. It's a complicated biological phenomenon. It's not going to be a simple answer. It will have, as the Secretary said, potentially genetic predisposition, but that cannot possibly explain why we've seen such a large rise in autism. There must be some other environment.
So let's get the prerequisites in here so that we can kind of center context for what's going on. Trump repeatedly called Biden Sleepy Joe. He's like, Joe Biden doesn't have the stamina. Joe Biden doesn't have the focus. Joe Biden doesn't have the mental sharpness it takes to be president of the United States. Trump told Americans, a president who looks tired makes the country look weak. We can't trust a president that looks tired with this very important job. Now, when Trump's aides are confronted with the fact that Trump falls asleep all the time, they just deny it. They go, oh, no. He rests his eyes to really think clearly about what's being discussed. And sometimes he is just so concentrated, and that is not a reassuring defense. It's not an even remotely believable defense. The president is sitting in the Oval Office during official government business, which could impact the health of children, and he can't be bothered to stay awake. If he's asleep, that's a concern. If he's just so damn bored that he closes his eyes and checks out while really serious stuff like childhood vaccination is being discussed, that's also concerning. Now, this is not an isolated incident. 2 to 3 times a week, Trump is falling asleep in public during the day. His day is already mostly restricted to 12 to 5, local time, wherever he is. And even within the 12 to 5 window, he can't stay awake for all of it. There was an event on prescription drug prices, another important topic, fell asleep. So do we need to diagnose Trump? Is it sleep apnea? Is it congestive heart failure? I don't know. They're not transparent about his health. It's obviously not good. Should we get credible medical information about the president? Of course we should. He's 80 years old, oldest person ever inaugurated as president. He's not healthy. He's obese, Cankles, Caligula, all this different stuff. But we're getting propaganda from them. We're not getting an explanation. Fine. Let's get to the hypocrisy, though, because when you spend years and all of your allies spend years going, oh, Biden can't do it. Biden stumbled. He paused. He went quiet for a second. All of these legitimate questions exist about presidential health when the president is Biden or Trump. But Trump insisted that every single one of these incidents is essential, except not when it applies to him. That's the larger issue. And then let's go bigger now. Competence and interest in being the president. Trump loves rallies where everybody cheers for him. He loves listing his grievances. He loves insulting people. He likes TV appearances. He likes being the conversation. Governance requires that you listen, that you're awake, that you absorb briefings, you evaluate details, you stay engaged, even when other people are talking. Trump doesn't give a damn about any of that. He is so uninterested in the presidency. His administration then comes in and fills the vacuum. While Trump sleeps, RFK talks about changing vaccine requirements and drives these huge policy changes that should really involve medical professionals, which RFK is not. It is massive weakness that is projected by this sort of thing. And then the national security aspect is that you think Russia and China and whoever else looks at this and goes, damn, that's not someone we can take advantage of. Of course not. They see Trump asleep every other day on live TV, and they go, this is a guy we can take advantage of. Not that Putin needed to be reminded of that. He knew that back during Donald Trump's first term. They go, this is the guy who lacks stamina and attention. And for all of Joe Biden's decline and slowing down that we saw, Biden, first of all, Biden stayed awake during official events, but Biden knew what was going on in his administration. You didn't have these situations like with Trump where someone goes, sir, what do you think about this thing that happened yesterday that everybody's talking about? He goes, sorry, the what now? And then after it's repeated loudly enough for him to hear, he goes, we're going to have to get back to you on that, because he has no idea what is going on. So the claim was from Trump, Biden can't do the job because he looks old and tired. Okay, that's a standard, I guess, that Trump set. Trump's the one falling asleep constantly. And when Trump did wake up, by the way, just as an aside, he said horribly racist things about Somali Americans. Here he is. Take a look at this.
These are people that have been not successful. They're people that have been, in many cases, failures. They come from other failed countries, and they come here and they tell us how to run our country. They come from places like, I won't mention because I don't want to get myself into a controversy, but they come from countries that are not great. They come from, let's say, as an example, Somalia. They come in and then they tell us how our Constitution, how our Declaration of Independence, how it works. It doesn't work that way, and they're not smart. They have no aptitude. They have nothing going, and they're telling us how to run our country. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they start off, now I may be wrong, but
just sort of par for the course at this point in time. Where are the MAGAs? I want to hear from you. Like, honestly, if this is the picture of strength and vitality, send me an email, info@davidpakman.com. Leave a comment. I want to hear from the MAGAs who think this is nothing to worry about whatsoever. Everything's fine with Trump. Summer is better when good food doesn't require planning, and that is why our sponsor, Wild Grain, delivers sourdough breads, seasonal pastries, and French butter from small independent bakeries straight to your door. Everything bakes from frozen in 25 minutes or less. I love Wild Grain's slow-churned French butter on sourdough. Rich, lightly salty. It is a great snack. Easy upgrade for breakfasts or casual summer dinners with friends. Wild Grain is using simple, recognizable ingredients. They've got a slow fermentation process. You can customize your box with classic, gluten-free, vegan, and protein options. So if you're looking for an easy way to enjoy bakery quality bread at home, give Wild Grain a try. Over 40,000 five-star reviews, named USA Today's best food subscription box 3 years in a row. And their croissants are still winning awards. Go to wildgrain.com/Pakman to get $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life. The link is in the description.